This is
game. That was 18 moves.
And it just seemed like when Nihal lost those tempi in the opening, it's like once Weslley played knight a5 and planted the knight on b3, white was never able to untangle.
Wow.
And 3 games in a row, Weslley gaining confidence, and Nihal has to make stuff happen here. This is going to be the last game before the halfway break. And this time, Weslley going for d4. Aman, what do you make of that? He decides to vary. What about if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
You know, it's almost one of those things where I feel like if he brings out e4 in the bullet, Nihal, by instinct and by repetition, is more likely to go into that same line. He knows it's a good line. He knows it works. I don't think that's the last we've seen of it in this match. So I think he's just switching it up now because he's saying, look, I've got something that works. Let me try this. If this doesn't work, I got something to go back to. If this also works, my opponent now has like, 2-3 things he's got to keep in his head. He needs remedies for multiple things.
That's an interesting hypothesis. I agree. And of course, it's not like Weslley can't play d4. d4 is a bad move. And I think he, to me, there's really no question that Nihal is a favorite in bullet, maybe not by a very wide margin, but Weslley senses that he can get this lead up, 3-4 points. That gives him a pretty significant cushion going to the bullet. I think that's what he needs to be aiming for.
An interesting thing, we always mention because the SEC features an increment, it's most notable in bullet, where most of the players, they don't play with increment. So then the rating is more reflective of, hey, they play like 30-second or 1-minute chess. But the interesting thing about Nihal is he plays a lot of bullet with increment. So I actually think he really, truly is the favorite, and he has some stats to back up his play with with increment bullet. That's how he gets his rating.
He's been hanging around bullet number 1 for a long time.
Yep.
He's just tremendously experienced, and in bullet, particularly, just nothing substitutes experience. There's just no substitute for that. Now let's see what's going on here, because I quite like the way Nihal has gotten his pieces out of the gate. What is Weslley intending here?
He might just the queen d2 and chill.
Yeah, but just doesn't look that appealing. Knight c6, but wait a second, queen d6. I don't buy what Weslley's selling here. What if you go bishop b7?
Takes everything on d5.
Takes. Oh, you.
Yeah.
You.
He's selling you. He's leaving you shortchanged.
Yes, he is. Good one. So
it's counterintuitive to take. It truly is. Knight as black.
Black has so many ways to attack this knight, but every one of them seems to succumb to this ed bishop d5 idea.
Yeah, Weslley, man,
What about king h8?
Tricks.
What if you just get the king out of there, permanently prevent bishop takes d5 ideas? Okay, forget about it. The eval bar disagrees. You could also take on e4 and go knight f6 and try to play positionally, by the way. Not ruling that out.
So
just take it.
What about like takes knight f6, knight d5? Like stick the knight in the way, and
right.
Then there's no tricks.
White might end up losing that knight. And Nihal, great minds think alike. Queen f3. Weslley figuring out a way. Look at this. Takes bishop b7, and he has d5.
Yeah, like what the hell?
ed5, and I think queen e7. And white is going to be down a pawn, but he is going to be counting his blessings that it's only that.
Yeah, that's basically white basically won the game by getting out of that. Definitely is going to feel good that he's not losing a piece or something here. But Nihal is he's got his chance here.
Whoa, 97!
Take it.
Oh, I thought that was a blunder for a second. I was like, 97, bishop takes b7, fork. But he can take on c1. Right.
Now, I think it's not unfair to call it not a blunder, but a pretty serious inaccuracy. I think 94 was like at least up a pawn, but hey, he saw this and he knows he's got a clear edge, kind of risk-free as well.
Oh, for sure. And it's just not easy for Weslley to fully neutralize the pressure on this pawn.
Yep.
As you know, I always like to indicate who's got control of the square in front of the pawn. It's definitely black. And rook c8 might be a very prudent decision, because after the rooks are traded, white's queen is going to have a direct avenue towards black's queenside pawns.
And you know what? If rook d1, maybe e5 was in the position. I wasn't sure. So I guess rook c8 just like made more sense overall, just kind of more solid.
Yep. Okay, so we have the trade. We have queen c3. And I think this is going to end in a draw. I think that's by
Weslley
far the
did
likeliest
well there.
results.
He really did to get out of that unscathed.
Yeah, that looked that knight on c6. Gosh. Okay, queen d7. Black can do some poking and prodding, but with 20 seconds, if I'm Nihal, I'm taking the draw. Maybe Weslley's playing for a win here.
Yeah, b4. I don't know if it's allowed, being critical of that move, but somehow it feels wrong. Like I'd rather have pawn on b2 and be a bit more solid with my setup here.
Yeah, and Nihal could start getting that knight around, let's say to f5, and whenever there's a queen and knight combo, I get nervous. But I definitely think Weslley is trying to play very ambitiously here.
What about knight e7? Yeah, your idea. Get to f5.
Knight f6. A queen b7 is possible here. Or you could just drop the queen back to c3. Yeah, we might see a repetition. Yep. And I think